You swam against a man who is now in the record books as an NCAA champion in women's athletics. When you woke up this morning and you saw what happened in Paris, what was your first reaction, Riley?
You know what, Clay? First of all, it's great to be on with you. And I'll tell you, my reaction was probably different than a lot of people's reaction. I bet a lot of people woke up, they saw the news, and they thought to themselves, this is unbelievable. How did we get here? I did not have those thoughts because this was entirely believable. This is what I predicted would happen, actually, because we have cowards at the IOC. It's the same people, essentially, the same cowardice that we see at the NCAA level. These are weak-kneed, morally bankrupt, spineless cowards who don't care. They don't care if women are injured. They don't care if it will take a fatal injury to prove the point that they are being virtuous, they are being inclusive. So I wasn't shocked. It's, of course, heartbreaking. It's tragic that this is the reality that we are left to deal with, that at one point would be considered like a satirical South Park episode. But no, now it's real life. So heartbreaking, but not surprising.
For people out there who are wondering about whether this could happen to their daughters, their granddaughters, to the different competitions, this also comes on the day that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are rewriting Title IX to encompass gender identity as opposed to biology when it comes to how women are treated under sports and beyond. Kind of take us into that world, if you would, and how this timing is particularly interesting given that reality.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. Today is August 1st. It is the day that the new illegal administrative rewrite from the Biden-Harris administration of Title IX goes into effect. Title IX, of course, it was historically the civil rights law that prevented sex-based discrimination on any educational program that receives federal funding, enacted 52 years ago. Of course, I mean, a really short piece of legislation, only 37 words in its original implementation, did a lot of things, but most notably allowed for equal opportunity in sports. But now what we have seen is...
We may have just lost Riley Gaines there for a moment. We'll see if we can get her back. What she's laying out is really important because some people will say, as they continue to say, oh, this doesn't really happen. I don't know why you're focused on this. There's a tiny number of these cases. Well, as I said, for Riley, she would otherwise have gone to dental school and pursued that as an educational opportunity if she hadn't found herself at the NCAA championships swimming against a man. And that's how she felt compelled to speak out to how broken this system has become. And when you see it happening in the Olympics, and when we continue to see this happen at so many different places, Riley, you were just laying out for us, this isn't something that's an aberrant result now. It's happening in every state in what feels like every school district.
No, you're exactly right. It is. It's happening every state, every level, every division, every sport. As I was saying before I accidentally lost you, the Biden-Harris administration they've rewritten Title IX. They took the original 37 words, created a new proposal that's now almost 500,000 words. That should tell you everything that you need to know. But in short, they have equated sex with gender identity, ultimately abolishing sex-based protection, sex-based rights as we once knew it, as we've known it for the past half a century now. And in the process, I mean, the implications of this are severe. It means men can take academic and athletic scholarships from women. It means men have full access to bathrooms, locker rooms, changing spaces. It means men can be housed in dorm rooms with women. It means your speech would be compelled. So now, if you, a professor or a student or a coach or even a local YMCA employee, it applies to the YMCA as well, if you don't use the biologically incorrect pronouns, but the preferred pronouns, then you would be guilty and charged with sexual harassment. So that's what Kamala Harris, that's what Joe Biden, who's been missing for days, that's the message that they are sending. Not only are they allowing this, are they tolerating it? No, they are encouraging it, they are celebrating it, and they are punishing you if you even dare to question their motives or dare to question someone's identity.
This is also, I think, really important, and it requires somewhat a graphic detail here. But I can't get over this. Men are allowed to go into women's locker rooms, even if they are still biologically male, and use women's locker rooms under many of these new guidelines. You experience this. I think there are lots of people out there that their mind is just blowing up when they hear these details. We're talking about teenage girls being forced to change in locker rooms with teenage boys who are boys just pretending to be girls. That's what this is requiring.
Yeah, I think, anyone with any amount of brain activity can see the unfair competition side of things and see how that's wrong. But what I don't think you could possibly understand is the feeling of being in a locker room, right? Especially, I mean, in our case, as Division I swimmers, being in a swimming locker room, which is not a place of modesty, putting on your suit that's skin tight, it's paper thin, it takes about 15, 20 minutes to really poke and prod yourself into the suit, 15 to 20 minutes of which you're fully exposed. You can't even fathom the feelings of turning around fully naked yourself and seeing a 6'4" man, 22-year-old man, fully naked, fully intact, fully exposing himself. Again, inches away from where you were simultaneously fully undressed. I mean, it's of course it's awkward. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. It was innate, inherent for every girl in that changing space to cover themselves, whether it was with their hands or their clothes or their towels, and to get out of the locker room as quickly as they could. But I mean, I think the best way to describe how we felt, it's an utter violation. It felt like betrayal, and it was traumatic, and not even necessarily traumatic because of what we were forced to see or how we were forcibly and non-consensually exploited. It was traumatic for me to know just how easy it was for those people who created these policies to totally dismiss our rights to privacy without even a second thought, without even bare minimum forewarning us that we would be sharing this locker room.
We only have 30 seconds left. Thanks for all your courage and bravery in speaking out, Riley. Quickly here, what would you ask women, moms, grandmas to be doing? Because men are fired up about this, but I think this is a women's issue that women have to take control of. What needs to happen?
Do exactly what the Italian boxer did today. If you're competing against a man, don't get in the ring. Don't fight him. What we can all do is vote. If you are a woman, how in the world could you vote for a party who can't even define what a woman is?
Amen. Riley Gaines, thank you so much for the work you do. Check her out on Twitter. Check out her show at OutKick. We'll be back. Thank you for all hanging out with us. This is an outrage. We got to call it out.